Hello, this is Sonia from My Happy Space. Just hopping on to help you set up for next week. I pray and hope that your first week of memorizing Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 went well. And yeah, that it was successful. And if you don't know it by now, don't worry. You're going to have lots of opportunities to go over it over the next few weeks. So if you started with us last week, obviously, first of all, let's get our verse which we are going to memorize this week, which is Psalm 32 verse 8. It's not such a well-known verse, but it's a good verse. I think I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. And that's such a beautiful promise from the God. And we have memorized now last week that I should acknowledge God in all my ways. And now God says to you, but I will instruct you in the way you should go, and my eye is upon you. I care for you. So it's a beautiful, beautiful Psalm, Psalm 32 verse 8. So last week, if you memorized with us last week, what you do is you move this into the even section. But let's move this week's into the daily section. So this is the verse you're going to concentrate on this week. Now, every even day of the week, like the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th, and so forth, you are going to go over this verse again. However you want, if you want to do the review sheets and use the review sheets now to go over it, you can do that. If you just want to write it in a book, if you just want to say it up loud, whatever way you want to do it. So this is what you do if you started last week with us. Now, if you've been with us for a while, what you need to do is now you take your even day of the week verse, which is behind there, and you move it into the odd day. With other words, you're going to memorize that the 3rd, the 5th, the 9th, whatever. So you move that into the weekly section. So last week we moved our verse, odd day verse, on a Monday. This week we're going to move it on the Tuesday. So as you can see, there's other verses behind the Tuesday. So you just go over those verses behind Tuesday also. Now later, as we go over the years or months, you might have loads of verses to memorize behind the Tuesday or the Wednesday or the 1st or the 2nd, but it doesn't matter. So what you do is you take your your Tuesday verse and you move it into the monthly section. And last week we put it under the 1st. Now this week we're going to put it under the 2nd. As I said yet again, don't worry if your things doesn't look the same than me. You don't have the same verses than me. My box fell and it got out of order. As long as you move the daily verse into the even verse into the odd verse into any day of the week, you can choose, but I've just choose Tuesday now. And then your whatever day you choose behind the week of the day, the Tuesday we chosen, and you move it into the monthly section. You can choose any day also in the monthly section. I just choose the 2nd for uniformity, and then I'll just go back and forth. So yeah, so what you do is obviously we've done last week. The memory verse, I all wrote it down, memorize it. Over the weekends, I just go over it. I've done meditation sheet. If you didn't catch up on the video yet, go and look what's a video. Very good. Always good to stick into the Word of God. And then I use my ephemera pieces to wrote 3 things down which stood out for me. I've done a Bible journal entry. Now tomorrow morning you take your verse, you write it out, and you start memorizing it. And a key thing is always to remember the first bit of the verse. That's quite easy. We will remember it starts with I will, and then the second will, I will. So this to remember, if you can just remember I will, and there's a verb, instruct, counsel. So it's quite easy to remember this verse. Just break it up for yourself like that. So happy practicing, and I will catch in with you on Wednesday when we do our meditation sheet. God bless.